A reading from the Book of Wisdom. The godless say to themselves, "Let us lie in wait for the virtuous, since they annoy us and oppose our way of life, reproach us for our breaches of the law, and accuse us of playing false to our upbringing. Let us see if what they say is true. Let us observe what kind of end they themselves will have. If the virtuous person is God's child, God will take their part and rescue them from the clutches of their enemies. Let us test them with cruelty and with torture, and thus explore this gentleness of theirs and put their endurance to the test. Let us condemn them to a shameful death, since they will be looked after. We have their word for it." The word of the Lord.
A reading from the letter of St. James. Wherever you find jealousy and ambition, you find disharmony and wicked things of every kind being done. Whereas the wisdom that comes down from above is essentially something pure. It also makes for peace and is kindly and considerate. It is full of compassion and shows itself by doing good. nor is there any trace of partiality or hypocrisy in it. Peacemakers, when they work for peace, sow the seeds which will bear fruit in holiness. Where do these wars and battles between yourselves first start? Isn't it precisely in the desires fighting inside your own selves? You want something, and you haven't got it. So you are prepared to kill. You have an ambition that you cannot satisfy. So you fight to get your way by force. Why you don't have what you want is because you don't pray for it. When you do pray and don't get it, it is because you have not prayed properly. You have prayed for something to indulge your own desires. This is the word of the Lord. Please stand for the gospel acclamation.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. After leaving the mountain, Jesus and his disciples made their way through Galilee. And he did not want anyone to know, because he was instructing his disciples. He was telling them, "The Son of Man will be delivered into the hands of men. They will put him to death, and 3 days after he has been put to death, he will rise again." But they did not understand what he said, and were afraid to ask him. They came to Capharnaum, and when he was in the house, he asked them, "What were you arguing about on the road?" They said nothing, because they had been arguing which of them was the greatest. So he sat down, called the 12 to him, and said, "If anyone wants to be first, he must make himself last of all and servant of all." He then took a little child, set him in front of them, put his arms round him, and said to them, "Anyone who welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me welcomes not me, but the one who sent me." And this is the good news, the gospel of the Lord.